Live from the internet, it's the BTB Internet Talk Show. Special guests, Pandemonium, Dean Martin. If you've got the internet, you get a talk show. Here's your host, Mr. BTB himself, Scott Curtis.
Got to shorten that little music break at the end. I got to fix that clip. Hey, it's the BTB Internet Talk Show, and I'm Scott. This is all about the Behind the Bits podcast and me talking to people that I like. So this week on the Behind the Bits podcast, it's episode 42 with Jeff Bodart, one of my favorite episodes. And that's about all I'm going to talk about as far as the podcast goes, because we've got stuff to do. I do want to say that we've got a... Hey, I'm getting right in there. It's working. We've got a mascot now, and it's a chipmunk. We don't know if it's a boy or a girl yet, or if it's a they. I mean, it could be anything. We want to give it a name, though, and I'm going to pop in the comments here a link for you to go right in and put a name in, and then you can win some merch. You can get your choice of merch and just follow the instructions. You got to do what everybody asks you to do. You got to like, share, tag somebody, just all the crap that everybody asks you to do, because that's what it's all about. That's how you get your free merch. But the show is about to start, and I'm stoked. But first, I want to bring out my buddy Steve. Steve, how are you?
Good. Hi, Scott. Good to see you.
Yeah, I haven't seen you since last week. So do you think that what do you call that music I'm using there? Is that the EDM?
Yeah,
or is that the house?
I mean, trap probably. There's too much to. It's just music to me. I was dancing in the green room because it sounded really good to me. Got me in a great mood. I feel like moving to Germany now. Yeah,
it slaps. I like it. I got that off of the free YouTube music, so I'll use it.
Yes, you can't beat that.
Well, Steve, I got to tell you, we got a good show tonight. We've got people that I haven't talked to for a while. One guy I talked to not too long ago that's going to be on a future episode of the podcast, and a young lady I don't know at all. Nice. So it's going to be great getting to know people. And I'm just going to bring them all out right now. First, we got Riva Riley. Hi, Riva.
Hi, how's it going?
Good. And how about Jeff Shaw? Hi, Jeff.
Hi, guys.
Nice to see you. And I'm going to get Mark's legs if he doesn't sit down. There we go. And Mark Masters. How you doing, Mark? Yeah, you're muted, bud. Did I mute you?
I've been doing this on Zoom for about 6 months now. Hey, you're muted.
The most used phrase of 2020. You're muted.
Yeah. Maybe he's got to tuck in his shirt.
Yeah. Well, anywho, he's still getting set up. Steve, I've been doing some work. I wanted to get this show a little bit more organized, just because I was playing kind of fast and loose. You know how I am. I'm a fast and loose type of guy. So I want to get a little bit more organized. So I've actually got graphics to keep me on point here. So the first thing we're going to do is a little thing I like to call getting to know you.
Wow.
And
we just went to the next level with this thing, Scott.
Yeah, I'm just going nuts. I got the program. I might as well use it, So I want to get to know everybody, even though I kind of know Jeff. I mean, we spent like an hour and a half talking to each other. But let's go over to Riva Riley first. Riva, can you tell me a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm a fish biologist.
Of course you are.
Yeah, that's a very normal thing to be. I study fish behavior. So I work with these really lovely little catfish called Cory catfish, and I study how they make friends with each other, and they're really delightful. So I feel like they're what we need right now in a lot of ways.
Excellent. So so how does I happen to know that you went to Harvard and Cambridge, and you've got a doctorate. How does somebody with your brain power, how does comedy come into play?
You mean like how did I learn to talk to other people, which is a very valid question.
Yes. I mean, most people in your intelligence level really don't interact with others very well. So
Well, I expect to report later to hear how I did. But I started doing comedy. Actually, I started doing science comedy, which is a thing. And science comedy is a great way to get started because the bar is so low. So like if you just go up and don't like throw up on stage, everyone tells you did great. So it's lovely. And I started doing that, and then I got more interested in comedy. I wanted to start doing material that wasn't bounded by needing to be of scientific interest. So that's how I started doing comedy more generally.
Well, that's great. And, you know, as I told you before we started, I stalked you a little bit and watched some of your sets, and you're funny.
Thanks.
I mean, you're not just one of those comics that say they're a comic like me. You actually get on the screen and you're funny. So I'm totally stoked. This is a part of the show where I bring up my son, of course, who's a rocket scientist at NASA, and you got him beat because he doesn't have his doctorate yet. So you know, I'm impressed. I'm glad you're spending the hour with us.
Well, thanks so much for having me.
Yeah, Steve, what do you think? Did I get a good guess there?
That's a great guest. I was just gonna maybe try to interact online a little bit, and then maybe use a different name, and then Riva would be like, "Wow, I've been catfished," and
I do belong to Planet Catfish, the online forum for ornamental catfish enthusiasts.
Well, of course.
Yeah, it's been around for a while. It predates the modern usage of the term, and
I'm surprised I haven't seen you there. That's nuts. Let's go on to somebody I haven't talked to for a while. Mark Masters. Mark, how are you? I'm
good, man. Just a little stressed getting ready tonight. Sorry.
Hey,
for the
that's
delay.
all right. That's all right. You can be stressed. I'm always stressed. It's cool. My rosacea is in full effect tonight, as you can see. This is not makeup, folks. My cheeks are really this red. Part of it's the drinking, and part of it's the stress. Thanks.
Nice.
And I didn't get a chance to put my concealer on before the show, so here we go.
Nice. I love the
so
book
what have you
up
been
there.
up to? So first, I have to say that I don't know if you know this, but you are the author of this book called "Not Good Yet."
I'm familiar with that book.
About your opening journey into comedy, and I know that Steve Freeto has a copy because I sent it to him.
Oh, look at that! All right, love you guys.
You're actually a gift for my Patreon users. So
that's amazing. I had somebody join one of my comedy shows who had the book from your Patreon. Thank you.
Yeah. So I'm just stoked to see you. I know you've been doing some virtual stuff and some stuff around Denver. Tell me about what's going on with you.
Yeah. Mostly, you know, because of the COVID, in-person stuff has kind of shut down. But I've done some outdoor shows. I did a parking lot show. Pretty unique. You know, it was a lot of fun. There were like 50 people in the audience, so that was fun, but spread out. And then I did a Botanic Gardens in Steamboat Springs, Colorado, which is a beautiful ski community. And the folks at Steamboat Comedy put on great events. Kyle Ruff up there. I think you had him on one of your events.
Yeah, me and Kyle are pretty tight. He was in my comedy contest, and I also talked to him for the podcast too.
Yeah. So he does a great job out there. So I got to do a show in Steamboat with like 70 people, and then I hung out with a moose the next day, which is really cool. I should have a video of that out on my YouTube pretty soon. And what else? So online, I run 5 shows a month. I run a weekly showcase every Friday night at 6 p.m. It's only 30 minutes long. We get comedians from all over. Last week, we had an amazing show with comics from Australia and Zimbabwe, which was awesome. And we had a guy from Mexico in the audience and somebody from England in the audience. It was wild. I was in a car illegally parked, borrowing Wi-Fi, and it was hilarious and really it was fun. Like a lot of comedy kind of sucks these days, but it was one of the rare shining moments. I also run the Vale Comedy Show, which I was setting up the backdrop for. That's once a month, every third Thursday. We have a show on November 19th coming up. You can get free tickets at valecomedyshow.com. We have incredible, like I just can't believe the caliber of comedians we're getting, you know, HBO, Netflix, Comedy Central, Conan sets. You know, we got Steph Tolev on his next show, Caleb Sinan, who's been on Conan, Lori Kilmartin, who's a New York Times bestselling author, works on the staff for Conan, been on Comedy Central. You know, everybody's got these incredible, Rekha Shankar, who's amazing. A lot of people haven't heard of her, but she's written so much. She was in a movie with Zach Galifianakis. Just, it's incredible. The lineups are great. Those shows are longer, you know, an hour 15. They're a lot of fun to put on. But you know, it's also a little stressful, but I've learned so much. It's incredible. Like, just in terms of like lighting and sound and video, I never thought I'd have to know all this stuff, but piece by piece, little by little,
we're all learning. Better. You know, I do have to say that it's great to see you again. Nothing you said was funny at all. So, you know, I hope something funny comes up at some point. Steve, this is Mark. Steve, what do you think? Should we keep giving his book away?
Yeah, absolutely. I have flipped through it multiple times. I'm so excited to actually learn how to read.
It gives a nice breeze when you flip through it. It's real good. And if you draw little pictures in the corners, you can make animations. It's
you know what I did? This is kind of dumb on my part. It's a comedy book, and yet I got an audio book of it because he narrates it on Audible. So I got the Audible book first, and I needed to, like, I've got it highlighted and stuff. I've got use my highlighter and all that. So I had to get the actual book to do that because you can't highlight Audible. It doesn't work.
No.
Yeah. I think the pressure is on Jeff because Riva had a catfish. Mark mentioned a moose. I can't wait to hear what animal's coming up in this next introduction.
All right. Well, let's see. So Jeff Shaw is going to be on my guest the episode right after next week. So a week from Tuesday, Jeff's episode is going to come up, and I do a lot of interviews. And sometimes I click with somebody, and Jeff was one of those dudes I clicked with. I thought he was cool. He likes Kiss. So, you know, he's a cool dude. So he's here, and I'm grateful to have him. Jeff, tell everybody else about yourself. I learned quite a bit about you when we talked.
Well, I'd like to start off with my animal. Steve, you're a jackass.
Yes. I know. I'm the buffer between everyone attacking Scott. I'm the one in the front line.
But,
I'm glad you're taking some of it this time.
But hi everybody. I'm Jeff Shaw, and by night I'm a professional comedian. By day I'm an amateur ichthyologist. And I have a book too. I'll show it at the end of the show. It's The Fun Dude's Guide to Cruising. I worked for Carnival Cruise Lines for 10 years. I helped start and run their Punchliner Comedy Club chain, and then I returned to a stand-up 3 years ago. Until the shutdown, I worked cruise ships, casinos, corporate gigs, comedy clubs, all that stuff. Been doing comedy for over 30 years, and I was on AGT this year, but my episode was yet another casualty to the havoc that COVID has wreaked on the entertainment industry. So
that's a crock of crap, isn't it?
Yeah, well, like they ended up only airing like 5 of the 13 comics that they taped.
Oh man.
So someday when during like sweep weeks, I think they're going to pull out the footage and show everybody my my standing ovation. But a little bit later, I'll tell you the story. I actually got a good story out of it, though.
Oh, excellent. Well, you know, like I said, it's great to have you guys on. One thing that you may or may not know about me, I do have a roommate. I'll call him a house guest. Most of you probably think that Dean Martin passed away in 1995 of lung cancer, but it's not true. He was actually cryogenically frozen, and they cured the cancer. They brought him back, but he was out of money. So he comes knocking on my door and says, "Hey, Scott, can I stay for a while?" So he's been here since like December of last year. So he likes to come on and talk to people. He likes for you guys to talk to him because he's famous. And we call this Ask Dean Anything. Ta-da. Hey, everybody. Whoa. It's me, Dean Martin. and my face is just as red as Scott's. It's nuts. I've been drinking too. This just isn't Diet Pepsi in here. There's good stuff too. It's me, Dino. So here I am. I'm back from the quote dead, frozen, and I know I led a pretty good storied life, and I know you guys are all just dying to ask me questions. So talk to me. Ask me anything. I'm an open book. I'm Dean Martin.
Hey, Dino, I got a question about Sammy Davis Jr.
Everybody does.
Fire on that. I like many people on this, I'm sure we travel to do comedy, or used to in the before times. I did a show at the Silver Nugget Casino once, which gives me two things in common with Sammy Davis that I know of. We both performed there, and we both probably will never perform there again. And I was wondering what a third thing that might be similar between me and Sammy Davis Jr.
Oh, I got to tell you, you wear glasses. He had a glass eye. That's one thing. And he's a humble guy. Even though he was quite a performer, he's a humble guy. I think you're a humble guy. When we talked, I got the humbleness from you. And you know what? You still haven't said anything funny, so well, the fact that you won't. Yeah, you had half a joke in there. I'm going to get a joke out of you. I'm Dean Martin.
Hey, Dean, I have a question.
Sup?
Who would win in a pillow fight, Matt Helm or James Bond?
Matt fucking Helm, of course. End of story. You got another one?
I have a question.
So, just FYI, when I was Matt Helm, Sean Connery was playing Bond at the time because it was right at that time, or George Lazenby. It's me, Dean Martin, and Connery is not as tough as he acts. I mean, I could put him down with one finger. He's Scottish. I'm Italian. He'd go down.
Well, I got to tell you, man, that's a great impression. You really know how to commit to a bit.
Yes, I'm Dean Martin.
Dean, I have a question.
That groundlings training.
Just a moment. I forgot to talk about the drinking game. Drink every time I forget a word or stammer. Drink every time Dean Martin goes out of character, and drink every time I forget a guest name or who I am. We're gonna do a drink here. I do suggest that we go to like apple juice or a light beer or something like that, unless you're like me, and then it'll just be whiskey. So, yeah, it's me, Dean Martin. Yeah,
I'm gonna drink hand sanitizer.
Yeah, be careful. It's not good for you. And Matt Helm would definitely win. Riva, you got anything for me? Do you know who Dean Martin is? It's me, Dean Martin.
I do have a question. Yeah. So what was it like being cryogenically frozen? Like, did you die? Like, what happens in the afterlife?
Well, first off, I come out a hell of a lot uglier than I was. Look at his face.
Looks exactly the same.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Where's my Dean Martin picture?
Come on.
And drink. Yeah. Anyway, being cryogenically frozen, I didn't know anything after the initial blast of cold air, and it just kind of crept up my legs and all the way up my body to my head. So that lasted about 15 seconds. And then I dreamed about Frank hitting me the whole time. So yeah, that's pretty much the way it was.
Wow, it's a long time to spend getting hit by Frank.
Yeah. He didn't hit very hard.
Good.
Anybody else? Shoot some questions. Let's go. Let's get this thing going. It's me, Dean Martin.
Dean Martin.
I haven't had any meat in a year.
Oh, you're going to die. Hey, Dean, real quick. I don't think I've ever asked this. Did you happen to meet Walt Disney when you were cryogenically frozen? Is it like a roommate situation, or how's that work?
Yeah, is Ted Williams in there?
Ted Williams?
The funny thing is those dumbasses just froze their heads. So when I woke up, I got to see their heads, but they're still frozen because they can't really attach a head to a body yet. I guess I was a smart one, wasn't I? And that's why I'm out of money.
Oh, Dean.
That's why I'm staying with Scott. It's me, Dean Martin. Anybody else?
Dean, are you familiar with Kiss?
Oh, yeah.
That I see in Jeff's background?
Yeah.
Big Kiss fan, big Judas Priest fan, big Neil Diamond fan. I'm into all of it. Like this band called Sons of Bill. They're a good group. Kiss. I guess my favorite song by them is "Cold Gin." That was a good one because when I'm not drinking scotch, I like the cold gin, and it's cold gin time again. I always win, baby. So I was a Kiss fan.
Well, those were my two influences when I was a kid. That compelled me into a life of show business was Kiss and your old TV show when you would slide down the pole.
Oh yeah,
and do a monologue like half in the bag. I used to love you. You and Tom Jones.
Oh yeah, you know how much I remember of that show?
How much?
Only what I watch on the reruns on TV. I don't remember anything.
Dean, I got a question for you.
Oh yeah.
If they were doing a roast of me, what would be the first joke?
I'm preparing myself.
Okay, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say, is this a dude or is this the actress Jane Lynch?
So in other words, you would roast me with jokes from my own act.
That's right, because
Instead
all
of
I
writing
do is
your own
watch
material.
Jeff Shaw stuff.
Wow.
Did I happen to piss you off for taking your joke?
Hey, you're Dean Martin. You can do whatever you want, man.
Thank you for acknowledging that. Some people don't.
Hey, Jeff, I heard that you study fish. You look like you study PHISH fish.
They're not bad. But that was a burn, man. I don't know if I'll recover from that. You could have started off gentle, Mark. You didn't have to go right in for the big guns. Come on, dude.
Yeah.
Just met each other.
Hey,
Fire back.
we'll turn this into the Dean Martin roast.
I'm
Hey,
being-
Riva, what's up with fish anyway? Sorry, I didn't write any of my own stuff. This off-the-cuff stuff's rough.
There's a lot up with fish. Gosh, I should think of more jokes for this.
Okay, thank you.
Well, that's floundered.
Yeah, sure did.
Nice.
All I'm thinking about is boring science stuff now. It's like you guys don't want to hear about like cod liver enzymes, right? Like,
Speak for yourself. I do.
Sounds
Or
kind of
like
interesting.
you know what's funny about fish? What's up with fish is fish can do a lot of really funny things. Like the way my fish have sex is really funny.
Oh, come on.
Ready? Okay, so
Talk to me.
it was discovered by Japanese researchers in the early 2000s, and they clearly didn't know what they were in for because they were studying what's called the classic T position. That's like how they thought these fish courted. What they realized was that the way these fish have sex is that the male like presents his belly to the female, and then she latches her catfish face onto his junk and drinks his sperm.
Oh.
It then passes through her digestive system, and then she lays it with her eggs in this little pouch she makes with her fins. And no one saw that coming, so these researchers were pretty scandalized.
Wow.
The funniest part of that was definitely unintentional.
Wow. So I'm changing what I want to be reincarnated as.
They're very egalitarian too. Like like.
Do they not have
females just-
acids in their digestive system, or have their
What a great question.
little
So
swimmers like evolved, or how does that work?
the males have to like package the sperm in this special way so that it survives like the stomach acids. So that means that the males run out of sperm before the females run out of eggs. So like males start the courtship but the females finish it. And in the end, the male's like running away, like, I'm out of sperm. And she's just like body slamming him back and forth, trying to. Anyway, it's very interesting.
Yeah.
Like real life.
What kind of fish was that?
I was going to say, that sounds like a date with me and Jane Mansfield.
They're called Cory catfish.
Cory
The
catfish.
paper is called Sperm Drinking and Female Catfishes, a Novel Mode of Insemination.
Definitely going to research that for a future bit. That's incredible.
I can send you the paper. It's amazing.
Fish biology rocks. So one of my good buddies, Freddie Lynn Miller, I didn't do a show, but Scott did a show with him, with Steve at the Art House in Goshen, Indiana. He wants to hear all about the fish sex. Well, Freddie, I think you've heard about everything you can. It's me, Dean Martin, and that's how a tilapia is born. There you go.
Tilapias are a true bottom, aren't they?
They sure are.
I don't know.
Yeah, you got it.
I'm just
look at how red Scott's face is getting. Holy shit. Yeah, that's not the lighting.
It's just such a cool hat, you know.
Yeah, Amazon, $12. Freddie Lynn Miller is impressed. Thanks, Freddie. I'm glad you're on the show. I'm gonna go way out on a limb here and say that you're high right now. But I know that's a 50-50 or a 97.3. But yeah, I think you're probably high.
I want to hear about some more Kiss stories from Jeff, because I'm a big Kiss fan myself too, but I don't remember much.
Cool.
Well, let's do this. Let's do this first, because as Dean Martin, I have to tell you, I haven't had meat for a while, so I'm starting to wane, and I'm drinking Scott's cheap whiskey, and it's not good. So let's get me out of here and bring Scott back, because he's just chomping at the bit to get back. And let's get into a part of the show that I like to call "What's on Your Mind." All right, Dean's gone finally. Whew. He's really getting on my nerves. So, talking about Kiss and stuff like that, let's get into the what's on your mind. Hey, Jeff, what's on your mind?
I don't understand. I thought you wanted me to answer his question about Kiss.
Well, is Kiss ever on your mind?
Well, obviously.
Well, let's do the Kiss. Okay, I'm going to direct this a little bit. Let's do the Kiss, and then let's go straight into what's on your mind. So we're gonna do a fade, and then we're gonna go straight into what's on your mind.
What's on my mind?
Yeah, and the Kiss. You got time for both. It's only 8:32.
Well, what's on my mind is Halloween. Halloween's coming up, and I saw on the news that Donald Trump Jr. said that he wants to teach his kids about socialism by forcing them to share their candy with kids who don't have any. And I say, why stop there? Why not teach his kids about unfettered capitalism by encouraging them to underreport all the candy they collect, then hiding it in candy jars in the Cayman Islands? And since their last name is Trump, why doesn't he teach them about Trumpism and then steal their candy when they're not looking, then blame it on the Mexican kids down the street?
You've been writing.
Mm-hmm. And Halloween is on my mind because I was thinking about like all the things that, irritate me about Halloween, and enough with these older people that feel like they need to pass out hard candy to trick-or-treaters. Hard candy to grade schoolers, you might as well pass out back issues of AARP magazine. Giving an 8-year-old a peppermint is like me emailing them a link to download the AARP app for their smartphone. Although they'll both appreciate the gesture, neither one will know what to do with it. And besides, when you give out hard candy to trick-or-treaters, you're not saving $10 as much as you are providing free ammunition for all the slingshots aimed at your picture window. And any women out there who may be thinking of going as a naughty nurse this year, there is nothing sexy about nurses in 2020, okay? So if you want to go as a nurse, a naughty nurse this Halloween, all you got to do, instead of putting on the tight-fitting uniform and the white stockings with the red shoes that match your lipstick, all you have to do is not sleep for a week, not shower for a week, not change clothes for a week. And then you'll have your costume right there. In fact, you can use that same costume to go as an unemployed cruise ship comedian. And
you won this round, Jeff.
Cool. And I'll just end with this one. I'm tired of fun size, fun size Snickers. What are they? This small, that's fun. There's nothing fun about a Snickers the size of a pencil eraser. Okay. Fun size would be a sticker the size of a Confederate statue that you could put next to your TV, like some kind of couch potato salt lick. And if I offended anybody with any Trump fans with that Donald Trump Jr. joke, I don't do political humor in my act. I don't want to divide the audience. I want everybody to enjoy my show, not just the smart people. And and I don't do political humor on social media. But I wanted to write some Halloween material, and Donald Trump Jr. decided to say something stupid just when I needed material the most. So I guess a turnaround is fair play, and I guess I got to do like an Obama joke.
Yeah.
So yeah. So if you see a kid show up to your door in an Obama mask, tell him that he's not going to get his candy because you're using it to bail out the candy stores. There you go. So for anyone who was offended by my Donald Trump Jr. joke, that was for you.
Way to even the scales. And yes, this is
Yeah,
a different Jeff Shaw than I saw in Leesburg, Indiana, because your buddy asked how many Trump fans were in the audience, and it was most of them.
Yeah, well, I don't do political humor on stage, and I try to stay away from it in social media. But when I saw that on the news, but I like to talk about Kiss in my act. I think that's what Republicans in Indiana want to hear about. Like, my mom took me to my first Kiss concert. My dad took me to my second Kiss concert, and a drifter paid by my mom and dad took me to my third Kiss concert. And this lamp, Mark. This is one of my proudest possessions, even more so than the artwork and the guitars, because that was a gift from my mom and dad on my 53rd birthday. And I loved it so much. I said to my mom, Mom, do you think that the fact that I love this Kiss lamp more than any of my worldly possessions means that I'm emotionally stunted? And she said, no, sweetheart. All it means is that you have good taste in music, and you'll have a really nice piece of furniture should you ever move out and get a place of your own.
Oh, that's why we bonded. I like you.
Yeah,
Jeff.
and I do play. Mark, Steve, Riva, do you guys play any instruments at all? Or
Piano.
Piano. Okay, see these guitars here, and then I have some over here too. I've got my Eddie Van Halen guitar right over here. This was my midlife crisis. I couldn't afford a Corvette, so I got guitars.
Uh-huh.
And I've been playing guitar now for 16 years, and I still suck. I'm so bad at the guitar. Nickelback asked me to join the band. And now I'm not saying that Nickelback is a bad band. I'm just saying I'm a bad guitar player. Yet I can play every single Nickelback song. So you do the math.
Yeah. I did try to play guitar, and I had a few guitars of my own, and I had the best guitar player in town teaching me. And he could do blah, 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 blah. I mean, he was fantastic. He said, as a guitar player, you make a good drummer. That's what he said to me. And then I talked to a drummer, and he says, as a drummer, you make a good audience member. So that's where I've stayed since then.
Oh, that's hysterical.
That's just off the cuff. I just made that up.
Well, I watch a lot of YouTube videos to learn songs and everything, and I'm telling you, nothing makes you feel like a hack on the guitar than watching these 8 and 9-year-old kids rip Yngwie and Eddie Van Halen solos. It's like 8-year-old girls from like Taiwan just doing Eruption,
Yeah.
But I want to post a video, my own video, to get revenge against these kids. I want to post a video of me driving myself to the guitar store and buying a Les Paul with a platinum card. In your face, punk.
Yeah. Oh man, I like you, Jeff.
Thank you.
Hey, Mark. Hey, Mark. It's me, Scott. It's not Dean anymore. I don't want to scare you. Dean can be a little rough around the edges sometimes. But I just want to know what's on your mind, Mark.
What's on your mind?
What is on my mind? I had some fans set up a merch store for me. And it takes Bitcoin. Like well, first off, let's start with merch. Merch is short for merchandise. You guys probably know that. And it implies that I'm like familiar with the whole merchandise thing, but I couldn't be less familiar. I've had 0 sales. Like I really shouldn't be calling it merch. I should be on a more maybe Mr. Merchandise would be more appropriate. But anyways, so the store, it takes Bitcoin, which I don't really know. The only thing I know about Bitcoin is if you have Bitcoin, you have no problems with Corona because you've been in your basement this entire time. So if I didn't just alienate you, go to markmasters.co like Colorado /store, pick up something. Everything's on sale for Bitcoin Black Friday, apparently. I've also been a little worried about handshakes coming back. Like when the normal times resume. I don't know about you guys. I don't like handshakes. Like it would be just fine with me if for the rest of the time we did a like Japanese bow or an elbow bump or just anything to avoid having to touch Michael's curiously moist hand before I sit down to a business lunch. Like when was that ever a good idea? Handshakes are like those little chocolates, that are wrapped up and not labeled and you don't know what you're going to get. Is it going to be, rainforest moist and noodle limp, or is it going to be the most delicious thing you ever tasted? You don't know. Is it going to be like firm and dry and good, or is it going to have a tree nut and put you into anaphylactic shock? I don't ever want to play that wet game of Plinko again. So let's just kill the handshake. Can we do that?
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah. That's some stuff on my mind. Yeah, elbow bump to me. Yeah, I don't know. What else? Do you want to talk about anything else in particular?
Well,
I didn't get the agenda, like the itinerary of this thing. I didn't know I was going to talk to Dean Martin. My agent, you're fired, man. Like, what? How come you didn't prep me for the show? Like, I didn't know I had to know what to talk about that's on my mind. I just do whatever he says and show up, and so.
You're doing well.
All right.
Hey, you got funny.
All right.
Mark, at the end, there is a catfish quiz, so you got to be prepared for that.
Okay, I'm ready. I already forgot. I'm like stressed in my head because I already forgot the name of the fish, and I'm afraid of later having to Google
Corey
semen gurgling fish or whatever I'm going to have to do to get it to come up.
Riva, after hearing Mark explain what merch means, I have to ask you, is perch short for merchandise?
No, perch have shit PR, so they don't.
Yeah.
Mark, I do have to say you mentioned Bitcoin, and my son, the rocket scientist, actually bought Bitcoin right here in this room on our old desktop computer for like, I think it was maybe 10 or 15 bucks. And he sold it for $700 and some when he was in college and thought that he did really, really well. And now it's up over like 10 grand or something like that. So yeah. And
well,
then
that's what, the people who buy the stickers and magnets from my merch store are going to feel the same way in like 10 years, except it'll be the reverse. It'll be like the Kiss lamp. They'll be like, who cares that it's at $100,000? I have this sweet magnet that's on my fridge still to this day.
Yeah, no doubt. And I've got the only sticker on my whiteboard is your Veil comedy sticker.
Awesome. I love it. Nice, cute alpaca. Another animal reference there.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that that Gene Simmons hasn't come up with his own cryptocurrency, Kisscoin.
Yeah,
I'm sure that's around the corner.
Yeah.
or a tongue coin.
I like mine better.
Because his tongue. Well, you've been doing comedy for 30 years. I've been doing it for like 4. So, you know.
But,
Hey, Jeff, do you know Nora Lynch or Phil Palisol? Just a random.
Yes, from Carnival Cruise Lines.
Yeah,
That
awesome. Cool.
Phil never played my club, but I have mutual friends, Tommy Drake and Thomas Brown. But Nora played my ship.
Yeah, we just had her on the Vail Comedy Show. She's amazing.
She's very funny.
Yeah.
We have a similar hairstyle going, me and her.
Yeah.
We share beauty tips when we're together.
Yeah. Similar political leanings as well. Yeah, you guys are like peas in a pod.
Yeah, but I
like
think
fish in a school.
But does she do a political humor like in her show, or?
She talked mostly about feces for 5 minutes in my show. It was great. It was a brilliant bit. 5 minutes, all about poop. It was hilarious the whole time. Just killed, just murdered.
I'm gonna put that on my bucket list. Get 5 good minutes on poop.
Oh, I think
Okay.
at least doesn't everybody have when you get
like this
started?
because-
What else is there to joke about as an open micer?
Book us
Yeah, no
together.
doubt.
You can have Nora Lynch and Jane Lynch.
Yeah. So
I can do 2.
This has
Real
been
quick,
fun.
Scott.
But,
I'm
come
trying
again,
to think.
Steve. I just talked over
I was
you.
just going to say, when it comes to poop jokes, I can do a solid 2.
Yeah.
Nice, nice. Mine are less solid. I'm like an irregular pooper every 2 to 3 business days. It's like,
Oh man, Riva. Thanks for being on the show.
Thanks for having me. I have to admit, I'm a little intimidated because you guys are all very legit, and I'm a nervous fish biologist.
Oh well, you know what?
you had the best story of the show.
You went
Bar
to
none.
Harvard and Cambridge, so I think you can kick all our ass in intelligence. So there you go.
Well, I mean, I do study fish that give each other blowjobs, so that's something. There's something.
So what's on your mind, Riva? Talk to me.
All right, so
I need to know.
I got something on my mind, and usually it's fish, but at the moment it's not fish, so that's weird for me. So we're gonna go on a little journey, if you'll indulge me. So it starts with my parents. So my dad is a great big white guy, which I think is extremely obvious from the everything about me. But my mom is actually a little Indian woman. And my parents have a fascinating love story. They got married over 40 years ago. That was before interracial marriage was legal in West Virginia. So that's real life. And they had 4 kids. And my siblings, they come in the rainbow of colors. They're very beautiful. They all look appropriately mixed race. There's me. I look like a hardy medieval peasant girl who survived many harsh winters. And despite mirrors, I didn't realize, I looked at this for a really long time. Our mom made the decision to raise us as Indian children. So, we're all vegetarians and we're all good at math. And you can imagine my shock when I got to school and no one could tell I was Indian at all. So I'm sitting there having a kindergarten crisis as I realized oh my God, am I white? Ganesh. Now, of course, the reason I invoked Ganesh as a 5-year-old is because Ganesh is the god of overcoming obstacles. That's something I learned as the only white kid in Hindu Sunday school. My religious education was difficult. One of the most common things that we do was put on skits about the different gods, and I played a demon in every one.
Ooh.
White devil.
Yeah, I thought that was I thought that was mean when I was a kid, but now with everything going on, I've started to wonder were they wrong to see the only white person in the room as a threat? And lately, this has been haunting me. So this is what's on my mind: is my mom was recently the victim of racist harassment. She got a voicemail with this slur-ridden anti-immigrant and anti-Indian message on her phone. She was really upset about it, which makes sense. And she checked in with all of her friends, and loads of her friends, loads of these people in our town had also been targeted with these specific messages against their ethnicity. with this really clear theme. Only white people can be Americans and no one else is welcome. And this is like obviously a really awful and cruel thing and super bizarre in its logistical complexity. Like what this mass hate crime implies to me is that there's a white supremacist group with a research team, right? And they look up anyone who isn't white. And that's not obvious, by the way. Like I have a brown sister and her name is Chelsea Riley. Because it was my dad's turn to pick the baby names. So, and like, other than this racist research team, there must be some kind of racist writer's room, right? Where they, sit around and try to diversify their insults and slurs. And like, maybe it's good that white supremacists are trying to be more inclusive. It's kind of wholesome in that hate crimey kind of way. And like, we can imagine them. Like, we don't know what the names of the racist head writers are, but something like when I imagine them, like Bubba and Chad feels right, doesn't it? And we can imagine Bubba and Chad curled up behind swastika-themed typewriters, arguing about who gets to record which racist screeds. Maybe Bubba's mad because Chad has recorded the anti-Filipino message for 3 weeks in a row, and Bubba's sick of the Malaysian beat. But at the end of the day, they can kiss and make up over the N-word. And like I'm really frightened. Like, am I complicit? Like, like after she got this robocall, my mom said, do I need to be scared of white people now? And I didn't know what to say. Like I've got white cousins who will come over to my parents' house to eat my mom's like delicious homemade Indian food and easily turn around and vote for the incumbent in our upcoming election. Mm-hmm. So that's a huge bummer. So I've been thinking about that a lot. And I thought a lot about how so much of who we are, we don't get to choose, like other people choose for us. Like Indian and white people decided I was white, and that made my life easier. It's easier to be white than it is to be brown or black. And I feel powerless about that. But I've been trying to remind myself that people get to choose who we are, but we have that power over others too. So I guess we should think really carefully about what to do with it. So anyway, I feel like I brought the mood down, but that's what I've been thinking about a lot lately.
Nice.
That's great. And you really hit on something. Never, ever trust a white person. You really need to get to know them for really about 10, 15 years before you put any trust into them. And then even then, hold back a little because we're not right. We're not right.
Riva, I loved that what's on your mind had a message. That was really cool. Nice job.
Thank you. I've been thinking about it for a long time.
Hey, Mark.
What's up?
I see the veil thing there, and I see how you're standing. Are you uncomfortable?
I could be more comfortable.
Okay,
I set this up very last minute, as I think the whole show saw. My computer needs to be up another couple feet, so I need to like find a box somewhere for the show I'm on right after this.
Yeah.
Steve, can you just send that, airmail it? Yes. Yeah. Boom. I didn't have one to catch, but yeah, it's a little weird.
Yeah, your neck looks a little. And
well, the thing is, I have to like hunch to be visible.
Yeah.
You guys have no perspective of how tall or short I am, but I'm taller than the camera is right now.
Yeah.
And but I gotta like, and I'm also trying to. I don't know. Like, I feel like when I have the mic in front of my mouth, it's not a good look for the video. So I was then lowering the mic, and then I get lower, and it just keeps. It's like a little dance we're doing.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Hey, get down and show me the hat.
Okay.
Nice hat.
Nice.
Yeah. I mean, it's not as cool as my hat, but it's cool. So I've done stand up online, and it is difficult. And
it's the way to go though.
Difficult.
You got to do it. Anybody doing I do it seated sometimes, but there's just a better energy standing up, and you can do act outs easier, and yeah.
Steve, my close personal friend. Can you please tell me what's on your mind?
Yeah. Well, one, I can't wait for the Jeff Shaw podcast drop in a couple of weeks or whenever that comes out, because you seem fascinating, Jeff. So it was great.
Oh,
awesome.
Thanks, man. We had a great talk, didn't we, Scott?
We did.
Yes. And it was great to meet you, Mark. I can't wait to finish flipping through the book. And Riva, you are
There are
fascinating.
pictures at the end, if that's all you care about.
Oh yeah, I'll start at the end. Yeah, I am a little Jewish. So what's on my mind today was just a Scott Curtis drinking game. So anytime that you mentioned your son being a rocket scientist, I had to drink, so I drank twice. Anytime you mentioned Sons of Bill, I drank once. And then you didn't say anything about your boo or your bae. And you didn't mention Tom Dreesen. So this week I only had 3 drinks in me.
Shot.
Oh, there you go. I got these little beers because I don't want to drink a lot these days. This one is called Little Buddy. It's out of a little brewery in Chicagoland. So
It's fun-sized.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
I like that.
I was in this do you guys have Marks out there, the chain, the discount like grocery store, like it's like a Big Lots meets Walmart's, whatever it's and I went in there the other day during my walk to get a drink, to get like a water or whatever, and they have this beer. It's a peanut butter porter.
Yeah.
And it's called Sweet Baby Jesus. That's the name of the beer.
Nice.
And I'm gonna get a 6-pack one of these days just to try. That's like got to be the best name of a beer of all time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Is their tagline the beer you can believe in?
Or not.
Or not?
Missed an opportunity, though. Yeah.
Yeah, I think no, it actually said drink a 6-pack of this, and there'll be no immaculate conception.
Drink a 6-pack of this and come back in 3 days for more.
There you go.
Put me up for the night. No.
Well, this is, I have to say, this has been a wonderful show. I know 2 of us have other shows to get to, so I want to make sure we keep this at a tight hour. I do want to talk a little bit about what's on my mind. Pretty much the same thing that was on my mind last week. I now know 13 people who have the coronavirus, and 2 of them are in the hospital, and at least one of them's not doing very well. So, as far as I'm concerned, please social distance. Please use a mask, 6 feet. It doesn't matter what you read on the news or what everybody else says. The virus is still there. It still spreads through you breathing on other people and other people breathing on you. And it doesn't matter if you survive, the person you give it to may not survive. So please, please, keep up the social distancing. I know you're tired of it. We're all tired of it. I'd love to go to a restaurant and eat inside, but it just isn't in the stars right now. So please, please be careful. I do want to thank my guest, Steve. As always, you are my wingman. Not really a wingman because I've been with my boo for 37 years now. And Riva Riley, you may feel like you were in over your head, but you were funny. You were good. I like you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Mark Masters, I liked you when I talked to you the first time, and I still like you. I don't know what that is.
It's the moose.
Oh, the moose. Yeah.
Nice. There you go.
Shoot me that video, and I'll share it up on the page.
Okay, I will. I haven't finished editing it.
Okay.
Real quick, funny story. I shot like 2 hours of footage, like talking to people in random places. I had spinach in my teeth the entire time.
Yes.
I didn't realize until I started editing the video clips. And now I have to like slice and dice all the video clips so you can't see the spinach in my teeth, and it's taking forever.
Hey, better spinach than beef. Jeff, we connected. We're always going to be friends. I'm glad you were on the show, and I wish you the best. Do you have anything going on that we should talk about? Because I thought I saw a show coming up in Cincy.
Yeah. Well, I'm getting ready for the release of my my album, Jeff with 2 Fs. It's going to be released on Tour Records, ontourrecords.com. It's 70 minutes of stand-up taped live at the Comedy Castle in Detroit last year. And next week, Halloween, I'm headlining the Caravan in Louisville, and then One Night Stands in Detroit the first week of November, and then I'm going to be at Gutty's Clean Comedy Club in Indianapolis the 21st, and I'm doing one of those drive-in shows, Mark. I've never done one before. I'm going to do one in Allentown. Well, I guess like I'll be on like
Billy Joel song.
Yeah, I know exactly. And then I'm going to be. They're going to have my big head on the drive-in, and then there'll be like a few rows of people sitting there, and the rest of people will be in their cars like watching. So I'm looking forward to that. And then I'm doing the Looney Bins out west later on. So I'm trepidatious. I'm excited to get back on the road. But I mean, if I could, I would just sit and do Zoom shows. I'm doing both now. Like I was in Erie like last weekend, and I'd get up in the morning, do radio, and then come back to the hotel, do a Zoom show, then do my show at night, come back and do another Zoom show. So I'm cobbling these tours together where like I'm doing, a club and then a different club and then maybe a small theater and then Zoom shows. And then next week I start my job at the car wash. I'm keeping all my bases covered. But yeah, so that's why I don't really go out or do anything because I figure I'm taking my risks by performing. And when I'm in the club, I got like, I even sell masks after my show. It's my merch now, my merchandise. It says, my mask says, "Don't be grouchy, listen to Fauci."
Yes.
Nice. Yeah.
And so, a lot of the clubs that I work are very, very strict and taking a lot of precautions. So, but I have another show, and you guys are more than welcome. I sent you guys the link, and if you want to join us.
Yeah. Your show is with
Brad Tassel and Steve Goody. Yeah, it's a
hilarious.
virtual comedy show.
Yeah.
But hey, I'll keep in touch with you guys.
Thanks.
Riva and Mark, I'm looking forward to looking at your YouTube clips later.
Awesome.
And checking
Nice
out.
to meet you, Jeff.
Yeah, and I'll be in
Good
touch
luck
with
with
you, Mark.
everything. Yeah,
And,
I'll send you an email.
Yeah, and
Bye-bye.
Steve, keep on rocking, man. I'm gonna make you a mixtape of Kiss songs, buddy.
Oh, please do. Yes.
And Scott, I was going to make fun of your hat, but I figured, hey, you didn't say anything about my wig, so I'm not going to say anything about your hat. All right, guys, I'll see you later.
Bye, Jeff.
All right. Bye,
See you,
Jeff.
Jeff.
Hey, Scott, I got to run too. You did an incredible
Gotcha.
job with this. It's really fun.
Yeah.
Steve, you had great energy, and Riva, you're hilarious. Let's stay in touch and keep that science comedy going. It's good.
Thank you. I want to say I think we're close personal friends now, so have a great night.
All right. Take care, Scott. Bye-bye.
All right, folks, thanks for tuning in. We had tens of watchers again, so it was a great show. I paid everybody an exposure, and y'all got it for tens of watchers, so fantastic.